Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Federico Talks Watches. Today, I'm going to talk about why I quit my big corporate job in the watch industry. Essentially, my dream. Now, of course, before we get started, customary wristwatch check, and today I'm wearing my Girard-Perregaux Evo 3 Moonphase Power Reserve Big Date. Love this watch to death, massively underappreciated. Also, guys, don't forget to check out DelReyWatch.com. We just got in a two-tone Submariner ceramic, full box, full paper, still under Rolex warranty. We think it's a great deal. We got in a Breitling Navitimer, the absolute classic of aviation, and the Jaeger LeCoultre, the JLC Sector Dial World Time, Master Geographic. One of the rarest watches in the JLC catalog today. All that and more at DelReyWatch.com, the only place you should consider picking up a watch. Anyway, guys, so before Del Rey Watch, just a little recap of my career. I started in retail. I started working at Cartier on 52nd Street as a temporary sales associate for the holidays. Got quickly picked up full-time. Had a few accolades there, but then I moved to Tourneau for a very short period of time and worked with Tourneau and Roger Dubuis as a brand ambassador. That's where I met my good friend Claudio, who's now the president. Back then he was the director of Roger Dubuis. Now he's the brand president of Jacques Dro. Then I worked at Wempe, which in my opinion is the best watch store in the world. Top-notch service. Wempe and Cartier really taught me pretty much everything I know on how to treat customers, know about watches, classes, education. The customer experience is really top-notch, so if my guys from Wempe are watching, thank you so much, and Cartier as well. But I was tired of working retail, so eventually I got a gig at Richemont as a wholesale sales manager, a middle management position, which for me was always my dream, to manage a territory for Piaget. So my territory was Eastern North America, so Canada, the U.S., from the coast to Texas. And it was my job to sell watches to all those stores, train all the staff in the ADs, open new ADs, close ADs that weren't performing, and just run the Piaget business in that territory, working for Richemont North America. Me, I love traveling. I love watches. When I got that job, I freaked out. It's my dream, and I spent almost 3 years there. And if my boss Keith is watching this, my ex-boss, you were the man. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and I hope we work together again at some point. But essentially, I quickly noticed a couple things. The first thing is there's a goal. Watches don't matter. The only thing that matters is that goal. If the goal is $2 million a month, you got to sell $2 million of Piaget a month. $2 million of Piaget a month at wholesale, not even the numbers posted, at wholesale. That was one of the hardest things I've ever done. And also training the staff, which was my favorite part of the job, and reporting back to Switzerland. And I quickly realized that Richemont North America acted like its own enterprise from Richemont Switzerland. We fudged the numbers as much as possible to let Switzerland make it look like we were hitting our numbers, but we weren't. It was like a company negotiating against itself. And I can tell you this is how Richemont and Swatch run. The Swiss overlords look down, and the Americans scramble to look good, even though that's all that matters is looking good. And then eventually it catches up with you, but who gives a shit? You still have your job, you're still getting your bonus. So essentially, I'd travel around the country, opening new stores. So every time I opened a new store, I think it was $300,000-$400,000, part of my goal. And of course, monthly sales. Now, you'd hope a store would sell 5 watches a month. You replace them with 5 watches a month. If a store doesn't sell, you usually can't sell them in, and you certainly don't take returns. Now, here's the thing. Piaget is a brand that's sold slowly. So I had to ram watches down people's throats. At some point, I got stores with 50, 60 Piagets in stock, and they just can't sell them. And I don't know what to do. My bosses know this. They don't blame me for it, but we had to hit the goal hit by the Swiss. And I remember we would start doing, just things that are probably not they don't look good in business practices. Like at the end of the month, let's say it was $400,000 short of my goal, I'd just ship a store 400 grand of Piaget without asking their permission. They'd get an invoice, and here's the thing, it would report on what you shipped, not what they paid. The finance department collected the money. The sales department just collected the invoices. So I didn't care if we got paid or not. I just cared if I shipped it. So I just ship them 400 grand without asking. Then on the first or second of the month, I get a call from the store saying, hey, Federico, you shipped us these watches. What's up? And I just tell them, don't pay for them. Don't worry. Try and tell them don't pay for them. And then we'll figure it out at the end of the month. Now, I got lucky, and 10% of the time the stores wouldn't even realize because they're dealing with invoices from 40 brands. So I'd ship them without asking, and they'd just pay for it anyway. But eventually I had to take things back and move forward. Whatever I had to do to hit my $2 million a month so I could hit my goal and hit my bonus, and my boss can hit his bonus, and his boss can hit his bonus, was what we did. And it was a little disheartening. You know, I went in there with a love of horology, and yeah, it was fun. Don't get me wrong, traveling to Switzerland, training staff, it was fun. But at the end of the day, they didn't even give a shit about making a nice product. It was all about how many can you sell. And I remember when a certain product came out, they expected for me to sell 600 of that single watch in a year. And that's when I handed in my resignation. It just wasn't possible. I was balding very quickly. I started to put on weight. I was stressed out at these unrealistic numbers, and I stopped caring about watches. It was all about spreadsheets and numbers. And you know what? At Delray Watch, it is about numbers. I am on my bank account on Excel every day, but it does matter about watches. I get to curate watches, I get to pick what we sell, I get to pick what we buy, talk to customers, and that's the fun part. Of course, business always involves numbers, but as a wholesale sales manager or wholesale director, all that matters is the numbers. You can literally do that job and not know the difference between a watch and a potato, as long as you ship them product and you shipped it consistently. And also, to be honest, I didn't love, just didn't feel good. At the end of the day, the stores would get upset with me. You know, why are you billing me for this? I mean, it's fine at the end of the day, but it was a whole charade so that the Swiss would think that the North American market was doing well. And I can guarantee you, almost every watch business runs like this. If they have a Swiss and an American branch, it's pretty normal. But yeah, the stress wasn't worth it. I was no longer selling watches. It was just numbers on a spreadsheet, shipping product I never touched. And at that point, I kind of missed retail. And that's when I started my YouTube channel, and then eventually started becoming a watch dealer, because now at least I do it on my own terms. Anyway, that's why I quit my job in the Swiss watch industry. Let me know what you think. Would you have done the same thing? Maybe not. Anyway, guys, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. It really does help. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any more content, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.